What's going on today, world? So today we're gonna do push-ups. Yee. Yeah, I know. I didn't practice push-ups forever because I just found the thought appalling. But then I started hurting my shoulder as I was practicing yoga, and I realized I have no strength in my chest and upper body. And that's what push-ups are. They're a stabilization exercise for the chest, but they also engage the posterior chain, the glutes and the hamstrings, and they really work the core. So they're pretty much an amazing exercise for anybody to do. So keep on swiping to find out how to actually do one and love it. Your basic push-up. You bring your hands like a downward dog, your index fingers are parallel, and you find a plank pose. And in that plank pose, you squeeze your buttocks like there's no tomorrow, and you pull the navel in. Now for stabilization, we move slow. We bend the elbows back and we slowly lower down. Notice how I'm not collapsing my shoulders. I'm keeping the chest open, I'm squeezing the buttocks, and then as I exhale, I forcefully push up. Inhale, slowly lower, I hold for a moment, exhale, push up. So doing that kind of slow, repetitive pattern about 12 times, 2 to 3 sets, money. Okay, if you saw that first one and were like, sure, there are regressions where you can still gain strength and eventually go to that one. The first one, bring your knees down, but oftentimes we don't do it right, so watch. You bring your hands underneath your shoulders and you find that plank again and you squeeze the buttocks, and then all you do from here is you bend the knees down. They're not forward, they're back. So I'm essentially in a plank pose from the knees to the top of the head. I'm still squeezing my butt. I still pull the lower belly in. I still lower slow and I hold and then I push up. This is a great one to do if, when you're doing a regular push-up, your tailbone starts to tilt up. That means there's not enough intrinsic core stabilization. So drop down to those knees. It's still hard. Another regression is an incline. So I'm gonna use this little box and I'm gonna wrap my hands around the outside of the box. You can also have an incline where your hands are forward. And I, again, find my plank pose and I slowly lower and I push up. So the same repetition, slowly 4 count down. I hold here for 2 seconds. I push back up in 1 second. And this is a great way to build up to that one where you're on the floor. But again, if you start tilting the tailbone, sorry, do not pass go, do not collect $200, drop down to your knees. Okay, if you've said what I've heard literally no one say ever, how can I make this push-up harder? Well, you actually do have an answer for that, and we're gonna explore it today, thanks. So we're gonna use a modality called stability ball. It's wobbly, it's fun, you should get one. A great way to make things a lot harder, and whatever you do, is to add the stability ball in. So for push-ups, we place our hands to the sides of the ball. We either bring our knees down or we find our plank. It's already harder. We slowly lower and hold that rhythm, and then we press back up. If you can do 12 of these in 1 set, and then do those for 2 to 3 sets, you're like, whew, good. Stability ball underneath the feet, and you're at a reverse incline with the hands down. So it's not the most graceful getting into it. We place our feet on the stability ball, we put our hands to the floor, and we find a plank. We squeeze the buttocks, we lower down, we pull the navel in, we push back up. Oh, you see how my lower ribs and everything are collapsing? No bueno, we want to keep the core tight. So again, if you find your tailbone is like sticking out and you're hating everything, just go back and gain the stability and then try to progress forward. Okay, push-ups, love them, hate them. You should probably do them. There's plenty of variations, there's plenty of progressions and regressions. Do them for stability on that slow pace, about 12 reps, and about 2 to 3 sets of them, and your chest is gonna be stable, and also your core and glutes are gonna be in great shape, so keep it up, junkies.